Hey guys, Jamie here, and welcome back to Flow for Couples. Fundamentally, we are trying to dispense with all of the needless hand-wringing and over-processing of the psychological realm. That said, we are people and we have inner lives, and our relationships are deeply and often profoundly, sometimes tragically intertwined. So there is psychological content to be worked through on the way to a deeply flow-based relating. The critical difference is that our goal is not to stay here for one moment longer than we have to. So the idea is to go deeply into the heart of your dynamics and relational patterns, understand them to the best of your abilities, and then release them. So consider this sort of truing up our bicycle wheel before we bomb a giant downhill. And the idea is it's really critical now to get those spokes all even and all balanced. That's the psychological work. And Abe Maslow famously said, when all you've got's a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. And we would suggest, just as a working metaphor, that our psychology, our ego sense, and our storytelling is fundamentally that hammer. It developed in the last few thousand years as a very radical and powerful bit of software. It's allowed us to manipulate our world and environments in some really powerful and positive ways. It allows us to evolve civil society as we know it. And it is a bit of a dead-end trap if we spend too much time there. So what we're proposing instead is this idea of moving what we know as ourselves from the operating system, meaning I am who I think I am and the stories I tell about my biographical self, moving it from running the whole show to simply being the user interface, meaning I am actually using my ego or waking conscious self just to kind of monitor, hey, how's the rest of my body, brain, and mind and heart doing? And rather than collapsing into specific narrative, I can actually stay on the balcony. I can stay overseeing that dashboard, and I can make adjustments from that level versus from collapsed back into old patterns, habits, and psychological narratives. So that may seem rather high level and abstract. Apologies if so. Or for some of you, it may help provide an understanding as to why would we be asking you to get into some of that icky, sticky psychological content with each other. It's not because we plan on spending any more time here than we need to. That said, it's essential to get us to the places where when we're in deep flow together, think of this like tandem skydiving, and not tandem like one person safely strapped to another, but more like precision flying formations with each other. That's where we're going. That's what flow in relationship can look like. And in order to do that, it has to be a supreme sense of trust and safety, which means if there's baggage underneath the rug, this is the time and place to start letting it percolate up with some of the energy from the practices that we're cultivating, right? It puts juice in the system and it tends to dislodge stuff, and it can dislodge plaque, right? And we have to be able to take that, roll it into the going forward project of being clean and clear with each other, and then really using each other as dedicated practice partners.